Welcome back to Backroom Convos. I'm your host with the most, Lesego M, Report, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Listen, if you are a fan of pot, stay tuned because you might like what we are cooking. Please do not forget to follow, like, and subscribe to get a notification for each and every time we drop a new episode. So, we are in the new year. This is episode 150 of Backroom Convos with Lesego M. Shout out to all the people that's been with us since day one. And shout out to the people who are newly subscribing, who are new listeners. Shout out new listeners. I hope you are with us for the next coming episodes. And as I mentioned on the last episode, Guti, we do have a new segment for every Wednesday, which is a Rate My Trailer, where we'll be reviewing every trailer of every movie that comes out. Of course, obviously taking into consideration your suggestion as to what we should review as trailers of the day or trailers of that particular segment of Rate My Trailer. So yeah, do let me know in the comment section which is the movie rather that has you by the chokehold. I got to watch Mufasa. I do have a lot to say about the movie, but obviously today is not the time nor the place to talk about that particular movie. If you want to listen to that particular review of Mufasa, which is the movie that also features Beyonce, Blue Ivy. Kagiso Lediga, by the way, as young Rafiki, for those of you who didn't know. Obviously, John Kani is also there. Tandy Newton is also like notable. I'm just mentioning the notable names there. Tandy Newton is also a part of that, just to name a few names. You know, so I'm so proud of Kagiso Lediga, I must say. So yeah, I just thought I should say that Uguti, I do have a lot to say about that, but obviously this is not the episode for it. Monday movie review is where it's at. I'll be speaking all things Mufasa on Monday. And given that now we're speaking about read my trailer, I think this is like the platform. I think before we get into that, let me just say this: the song of the episode, because this is like this is part two of the episode that we're recording today. So it's there's no point in saying song of the day because we had an episode that we released earlier. So this is like the part two. So it's the song of the episode for those of you who just joined us. Song of the episode is Uvalo, and I must say this, about this particular song. I do have a connection with this song because I think for the last quarter of 2024, I lost, I think, a bit of, I lost track of who Lesego is. I neglected myself, as far as like self love, self respect. I think I neglected a lot of that. So the reason I say I know, like, this is not a part of like this episode, but I'm going to get to rate my trailer. But I'm just giving you the story why this song is is the song of the episode. So as I was saying, Guti, the song resonated with me because at the last half or the last quarter of 2024, I neglected myself in so many ways. But I'm glad that certain things I still said no to when I'm like, "Whew, this moment could have, took me to that point, but I didn't allow. As much as I lost a bit of myself in 2024 because I was being flexible and, I lost a bit of myself in that, and I lost a lot of self respect for myself. I didn't respect myself by the things that I did, by how I represented or presented myself as far as relationships to other people. You know, I was giving, the reason I say that, I was giving a lot. Like, I was emotionally, I wanted to love myself. I wanted to love someone else, you know. I wanted to love someone else. I was in the mission to be in a relationship, you know, but the formula that I was using, given that I haven't been in the relationship for the longest time, wasn't the correct formula, right? It wasn't the correct formula. And for the most part of for the most part of that entire ordeal, I never got into really. Oh, I did get into a situationship which lasted about 3 days or four. I'm not sure. It's like 3, 4 days because a part of the outcome of like self negligence is that I got into a relationship 3, 4 days with someone who I believe has different. We had different. We didn't have a lot of things in common. It was just because I was taken by the moment and I had bad company, and bad company comes with those type of decisions. I know that, but obviously because I wanted to feel something, I was going through a lot. I wanted to feel something. I wanted to love someone. I wanted to experience that, relationship. Don't. I wanted to experience that, but the formula of which I went by, I think 4, 5 relationships that I was pursuing, or people that I was pursuing, I think it's four. Is it four? 4 or 5? I'm not sure. But they all didn't turn out the way I wanted them to. One was actually materializing, but I realized because I was getting back to my senses, Uguti, that's not the relationship that I want because I got to know the person better. With others, it was a bit of an on and off situation where I was like committed to giving my all to them, and in a way I think that just represented me in a different light of which I personally didn't like. So I think we back at it again where I'm like, I'm done with that phase where I'm like, going out chasing, chasing whatever that it's there in the world. Whenever it's not for you, you're chasing, and that's when you start making bad decisions, honestly, you know. So I think this year I just don't want to chase, I want to attract. 2025, that's what I manifest. I'm attracting. I'm not chasing anything. If it's not for me, it's not for me. I make peace with everything very quick. I don't get easily swayed by things that don't serve me. That's the biggest thing for this year that I want to achieve for myself, and to be in or find my center again of who Lesego is, because I lost that in the last quarter of last year. So yeah, the song resonates with me because of that, and it touches me because I was giving, and even though I wasn't giving, I was giving, and it made me realize, Uti, had I been in some of those relationships with people that didn't feel the same, I would have given my all to situations that were not gonna serve me. And I'm just glad that God loved me so much that He saved me from those relationships. I'm so sorry for coughing. I'm still a bit sick. I did mention on the last episode that the 31st, the New Year's Eve, I spent indoors sleeping. I think for the past 3 years, I've been indoors sleeping for like, the past 3 years. And I think this year is the first year where I'm sick. Last year, I moved into the valve for the first time, and the movement. I was like, yo, learning the environment indoors. Didn't know anyone. The year before last, I was in Soweto. I was calling friends that, yo, like, what are you doing? And they actually went to Southgate. They did whatever. I went back home and slept for the past 3 years. Nothing really hectic happened for me. So going back to the movie review, I think The notable thing I think I give Kagiso Lediga, that's the connection between me and the song. You know, the connection between me and the song Uvalo by Sjava featuring or Sjava and Usimamane, which currently sits at 1.1.7 million, which was released a month ago on YouTube. So shout out to Sjava and Usimamane, you know, up and coming artists doing amazing things. And going back to read my trailer, which is a new segment that we have on Backroom Convos with Lesego M, which will be reviewing movie trailers. You know, I don't know if there's anything other than movie trailers to review. If there is, do let me know in the comment section. Maybe we might add as part of like an extension of this particular segment. So yeah, we are doing this movie Mufasa amazing. I'll talk about that on Monday. The trailer, I got to watch it. But as I was watching it, to be honest, I was like, let me just read the credits, right? I'm gonna like read the credits. I got to the credits, Ivan. I got to the credits. Obviously, one notable name is. I'm so sorry about that. One notable name that I saw there is Kagiso Lediga. So Kagiso Lediga is a comedian from South Africa. So for those of you who didn't know who Kagiso Lediga is, he is a comedian from South Africa. He's also an actor from South Africa. Is a filmmaker and a writer as well. You know, he's been in like he's been an executive producer of Netflix crime drama called Queen Sono, which featured Pale Tusi, which air was released or aired in the on the 28th of February 2020, and he was born on the 6th May 1978, and today he is it 46 or 47, and he got his education, formal education from University of Cape Town, born and bred in the dusty streets of Pretoria. You know, so shout out to Kagiso Lediga for being featured in Mufasa, and some of the movies that he's been a part of is the Pure Monati Show, which was released in 2003, The Wizard, which was released in 2017, Catching Feelings, also released in 2017, and The Late Night News with Kagiso Lediga, or with Luiso Bola is a part of that between 2010 and 2015. So he does have a rapport of his own, and some of the people that he does the same stuff as, if you look at Luiso Bola, Trevor Gumka, Karabo. So those are like some of the people that are within what he does, right? So John Baker is also one for Pempo Pops. They do the same. David Kau, and you know the list goes on and on. You know, so shout out to Kagiso for that, man. I saw his name. I was like, yo, this is like big, not only for him but for SA as a whole. For him being an inspiration to people like me, I'm like, oh, this is I can do. You know, so shout out to Kagiso Lediga. I saw Aaron. Aaron, oh, he's the talk of the town. Aaron Pierre, he's Mufasa. He plays Mufasa. A lot of people are talking about him. I think he might be. He has potential to be. Is it Vogue Sexiest Man Alive? Sexiest Man Alive of 2025. I think he's a contender. Mark my words. I think Aaron Pierre is a contender. I think he's the ladies' man. I think he knows it, but he doesn't flex it. That's what makes that he has swag. He knows that he's him, but he doesn't, sell it hard. He's like, I know I'm him. He just doesn't sell it as hard. As someone who's not him, who's trying too hard to sell the image. He's him and he's not selling that. He's just him. So I enjoy. I'm like, yeah, he is who you think. He's humble. I like that about him. So shout out to people like Kelvin Harris Jr., who played Taka, the prince, the young prince in Mufasa. Shout out to Tiffany Boni, who played Sarabi. Shout out to Kagiso Lediga, who also played young Rafiki. Princeton Yem, who plays Zazu. Mandy Kelson, who played Kairos Sandy Newton, who played Taka's mother, Ishi. Ishi, yeah. Then Lenny James as Tucker's father, Obasi. Nakita Noni Rose as Mufasa's mother, Afia. Keith David as Mufasa's father, Masejo. John Kani as Rafiki, as you may all know. Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is also like a part of this. Shout out to Seth. I think one of the people that are killing and people are not talking about this is like how perfectly how the character and the person behind the character, like the synchronization between the character and the actor, like Seth and Pumbaa, the perfect match, bro. I'm like, who do you get? It's like, who do you call this? The Grinch and the Grinch. Jim Carrey was playing the Grinch, right? So I'm like, who can you replace the Grinch with? If like, I'm like, like the Grinch, Jim Carrey, the perfect collaboration, like the perfect person to play the character. Same way I feel about Seth Rogen and Puma. Amazing. So shout out to Seth Rogen. So sorry, coughing, still sick. So Donald Glover, he plays Simba. The introduction is by the introduction of Kyra, the daughter of Simba, and Pinala is played by Blue Ivy, and Beyonce, no less the mother to Blue Ivy and the amazing superstar that she is. She plays Nala. So shout out to all the people that were there. Shout out to also Thuso Mbedu. For people who didn't know, Thuso Mbedu was also a part of this. So additional, like he's part of like the additional casting. So Thuso Mbedu was part of Mufasa. For those of you who didn't know, shout out to him as well. Like he keeps on begging and begging and begging and begging. So like shout out to them, man. The bag is growing bigger and bigger for these people. Shout out to my fellow South African Lesego M, Thuso Mbedu, Kagiso Lediga, John Kani. Those are the people who inspire us to do it bigger and better. Shout out to those people, man. So yeah, that's about it on the trailer, man. I got fired up because I see people of from doing it big in the world, man. Shout out to you guys for being an inspiration to us and all the kids around Africa as a whole. We thank you. So that's my review of Rate My Trailer. What do you think about the episode? Do let me know in the comment section. I am your host with the most Lesego M, Diddy Report, aka Future Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Do have a lovely evening, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers.